Good morning or good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for joining us for our first knowledge sprint of 2026. It's great to be back. It's getting a little bit dated now, but I hope everyone had a great festive season and is back ready and raring for 2026. So my name's Scott Wyndon. I'm one of the BDMs here at Red Piranha. I'm joined by Zayd, who heads up our product team, and Damien, who heads up our engineering team. So Zayd's going to give us a bit of a rundown on advanced persistent threats, and then Damien's going to dive into a presentation as well. So I guess as everyone knows, cyber attacks, especially in critical infrastructure at the moment, are starting to increase in scale and sophistication. That's becoming more and more headlined by the fact that the SOC Act is again becoming more important in people's industries who have those critical infrastructure assets. So today, like I said, we're going to touch on groups like Salt Typhoon, who are really big in this space. Like I said, the guys are going to run through some information and a demo. So before we dive into the guys' information, I'm just going to give you a quick rundown on Red Piranha, who we are. So this is our 11th year. So we were founded in 2015 by a founder, Adam Bennett, who it was built out of frustration because he saw a gap in the market, especially in the SMB space. A lot of companies who aren't in that enterprise grade level were simply unprotected. He saw an opportunity and a need really to come into the market and establish enterprise grade protection for that SMB market without the enterprise price tag. The nucleus of our solution is the Crystal Eye. So it does a myriad of different things, but today Zayd and Damien are going to really focus on the threat management element of it, so threat hunting in particular. As a company, we are ISO accredited 9001, 27001. We're also, really importantly, a member of the Team Defence Australia. What does that mean? So we're one of two companies in the region who effectively feeds in all the threats that we detect into a central repository managed by the Australian government. Like I said, we're one of two, and we're usually in the top 2 or 3 globally for the threats that we send through. We also have a myriad of different services we provide, but probably the most, relevant for today's conversation is our SOC as a service. Our SOC is based over in Perth. So from a data sovereignty point of view, we're which we think is very, very important to keep all that data, all those logs onshore. So that's just a little bit about us, but I guess I'll hand over now to Zayd, who can give us a little bit more information around what we're talking about today. So thank you.
Thanks, Scott, and hi, everyone. I'm Zayd. I'm the product manager here at Red Piranha, and here's what we walk through today. So today we'll talk about advanced persistent threats, APTs. So we'll talk about exactly what they are and what motivates them, why EDR, endpoint detection and response alone, is no longer enough to defend against modern attacks, a live look at how our SOC team conducts APT hunting, a practical guidance for protecting infrastructure from groups like Salt Typhoon, and how Red Piranha enhances threat detection and response through our platform and SOC services. So let's get started. And so advanced persistent threats are highly organized groups, often state-aligned, who target critical sectors with very specific goals. APTs are not smash-and-grab attackers. Their objectives are long-term, and they try to have a silent presence. So they'll map your network, exploit weak points, quietly move laterally, and stay hidden while gathering intelligence and stealing data or preparing for future disruption. This is why defending against critical infrastructure requires more than traditional security layers. So EDR, although an essential tool, is not sufficient on its own, and here's why. They focus primarily on endpoints, leaving blind spots across the network, and APTs often exploit infrastructure that EDR can't see. So things like misconfigured routers, firewalls, IoT devices, or unmanaged systems. EDRs lack the ability to correlate network layer anomalies with endpoint data. And to catch APTs early, you need network-centric detection and correlation across multiple layers. So APTs are professional at staying invisible. They exploit vulnerabilities systematically, maintain persistence using stealthy access methods, mirror or blend into traffic to avoid raising alerts, and use lateral movement techniques designed to not trigger standard monitoring. This is why so many organizations discover breaches months after they occur. Now let's take a short look at how threat hunting works. In this demonstration, our security team lead will walk through a typical APT hunt, reviewing indicators of compromise, analyzing natural movement patterns, and correlating events across the Crystal Eye platform. Damien, over to you.
Yep, thank you very much for the introduction, Zayd. So yeah, I'll be covering how we would do threat hunting on the Crystal Eye platform as well. So you'll start off on the Crystal Eye dashboard. Crystal Eye does have the threat hunt dashboard, which is quite a powerful tool in its arsenal to assist with proactive threat hunting as well as just threat hunting in general. So if we go to the dashboard, we can already see some information that might be relevant to you as well. But you can really dig into the events as well. If we go to the threat dashboard, we can see the type of events that's currently hitting for the last 24 hours. So you can change the range as well. Say we want to do threat hunting for the past week or even a specific time frame, we can do that as well. But in the last 24 hours, we can see there's quite a bit of outbound traffic as well, from some internal devices to some external IPs as well. We can also see there's some IP lookups. And below in the events tab, you can actually dig into it as well. So we can see this one is detecting curl user agents. So someone's clearly, or a program or someone, so they're using curl. We've got the actual user agent so we can verify. They're also going to this host name as well. With the threat hunt dashboard, it's quite easy to investigate the correlate yourself. You can simply include it. I would include it into the filter. So we want to see what else has gone there. And we can see it's pretty much those ones we've seen, and a few source IPs as well. With this data as well, we do recently have the cyber threat intel platform included into our orchestrate. So any client or anyone with a orchestrate account, whether you have one or you don't have one, you can just sign up. It's free. We do have the new cyber threat intelligence dashboard as well. And in here, you can see all the different indicators we do currently have available. You can see there's about 200,000, quite a lot of reports and a lot of data on malware as well. We can also see the most active threats and most targeted victims, which we can see government being on top by quite a margin as well. But we can actually use this indicator. In this case, that would be that external IP address that the internal systems are accessing. We can actually go to the observables and see if this has a link to it. Not that one. Let's just copy that. There we go. And if we search for it, we can see it's come up. We've got a few labels. We can see APT and Salt Typhoon. So this indicator has been linked to Salt Typhoon activity. We can also look into it a bit more. This platform is fairly recent. We did deploy it end of last year as well. So it's currently available to anyone. And we are also improving this platform a lot more. So you actually be able to look at the APTs and everything linked to them as well. But yeah, here we could see Salt Typhoon, and we can also see state-sponsored activity as well there. One of the TTPs, so one of the techniques that Salt Typhoon is known to have used in the past is they've used SNMP to look at switches and network devices to try exfiltrate more information, living off the land, not doing anything, not deploying any tools or anything like that. And with the threat hunt dashboard as well, you can set several templates to make the proactive threat hunting or just the threat hunting in general much quicker and much more streamlined. So let's look at SMB alerts. Would there be any? Oh, so we can see there have been any SMB alerts in the last 24 hours. What about SNMP? Nope, we can see there's a bit of traffic. We can see two internal devices are talking to each other. And we can also see the variables that the SMP uses or the OIDs, so what information they're actually pulling. So with this in hand, and I believe if we include this source IP, remove the SNMP filter, search, yep, these one of the devices that also contacted that destination IP that has been known to link to Salt Typhoon. So we're able to correlate a bit more. Device could be potentially compromised, and maybe there are other devices as well, which we can actually see yet again. If we just put that destination in, we can see a few other devices have contacted it. Whether it's a C2 domain, we can investigate that as well. And this is just from the network point of view. The Crystal Eye device has a lot of capability, holistic design, and so we have a lot of other correlators that we can use to increase it, such as we've got the Defender for endpoint integration onto Crystal Eye itself. We've also got Secure Web Gateway, so this allows us with that defense in depth design as well. So we're not just relying on just network or just EDR. That doesn't help anyone. We want all the correlation we can to fully determine. Another thing, because you have the Crystal Eye device, you also have the team of experts. So you have our SOC team at your disposal at any time, where there's an incident. For instance, we could see, yep, that IP links up. You can actually escalate this directly to us as well. It does need to be configured, but you can directly escalate it. Our team will then investigate and get back to you on the outcome, whether it requires an incident response or we've determined it's a false positive, and we actually provide you all the evidence and the indications to why, not just go, oh, it's false, don't have to worry about it. We do put effort into figuring it out, essentially. But with all of this as well, if you remember, we did the webinar before, we talked about the CMDB integration, being able to actually map your assets fully. This also helps the SOC team. So we don't just have access to all the data that Crystal Eye is sending. We also would have access to your CMDB, your asset register. So we're able to determine what these IPs are. So here we can see it's a PC, but we were able to determine what's meant to be running on that PC. Same with I believe there's a server in here as well. We were able to determine what the server is. Is it a app server? Is it an SQL server? And this allows to determine the confidence of the indicators as well, and do prompt incident response as well. But I do believe Zayd does have more information on the defense capability as well and how we can assist you there. So for now, I'll pass back over to you, Zayd. Thank you.
Yep, thank you, Damien, for that very insightful demonstration. So it's clear that our team is more than capable of hunting down APTs such as Salt Typhoon, and we can also notify you, if they see something suspicious in your network. Our team does continuous monitoring and behavior analysis and event correlation across network, identity, and endpoint layers, as Damien had described a lot more in depth. We coordinate our incident response, and we have adaptive detection strategies as well that evolve as the threats evolve as well. Just remember, it's an integrated approach to stopping APTs before they can cause harm. Yep, and these are just the points that I touched on about continuous monitoring, analysis, correlating events, and detecting threats, and how our team coordinates the incident response. All right, and that's a wrap for the content today. We'd love to hear your questions, whether about threat hunting, APT behavior, or how a SOC works with your environment. So we open the floor up to any questions. I see Justin has one. How quickly can organizations start seeing value from threat hunting or SOC services?
Yep, I can answer that one. Yes, so we've had several clients who've basically seen the benefits of the Crystal Eye as well as just threat hunting within days of it being deployed. Because the Crystal Eye does give you full access to your network. You're actually able to investigate what's transferring through your network, Other devices, they sort of just go, oh, we're sending it to the SOC or the central logging system. We'll notify you if we see anything. We do that as well, but you actually have the capability to investigate yourself, and immediately we will start seeing triggers, and then we work with you as well to determine false positives, what's intended traffic, what's not. So we can really generate a baseline, and if anything, of course, falls out the baseline, you'll be notified, and we can investigate further on who, what, and why as well.
Great, thanks, Damien. Let's see if we have any more questions. You're welcome, Justin. Another question from Justin. If someone wants to improve their defense against APTs, what's the first step?
Well, yeah, I can also answer that one. As mentioned by Zayd earlier in the presentation as well, APTs are quite stealthy. They could be in your network for a week, they could be in there for years. And so the first thing we really want to try to do is see them. So definitely start with visibility. So that's also where we can help with sensor placement. We want to make sure your whole network's covered, whether it is from the endpoint or just from the NDR. We recommend all of them essentially. We do have different tools built into the Crystal-Eye, such as the secure gateway and web filtering as well as application control. So we can really lock down the endpoints all the way up to the network. And then, as I mentioned a bit before with your previous question, the visibility, we'll be able to generate the baseline. And even with the baseline, of course, you do threat hunting on that. Check with the IT teams, maybe even the managers, to go, hey, do you do this daily? Is this a system you use? Do you use this RRM agent as well? Then we can really generate a profile. And then, of course, if one of those stands out, we can investigate. But yeah, definitely starting with visibility. It doesn't help you stop them if you can't see them. Hopefully that answers your question, Justin. Are there any other questions? Can't see any.
Keeping an eye on the chat. I don't see anything yet. I think we can probably wrap this one up. Cool. So I'll just hand it over to you, Scott.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Thanks, Zayd. Thanks, Damien, for the information and the demonstration. Just, I guess, some wrap-up information. We have some partner events coming up in March. So 18th, we'll be down in Melbourne, 19th in Sydney, where I'm based, and then we're on the 26th over in Perth, where both Damien and Zayd are based. So it'd be fabulous if you could sort of come down. We'll obviously share the details as we get closer to the time. Just to meet us face to face, maybe catch up, have a quiet, refreshing cold beverage, just have a chat. So, like I said, be fantastic to see everyone at these events. Finally, just if there's any information you'd like to get your hands on, these are the details here. However, if you want to come straight through to me, it's basically, my email is the same, the redpiranha.net, but it's just scott.wingdon@redpiranha.net. So if anyone, there you go. Thank you, Raya, for putting that in the chat. So if anyone's got any specific questions about today or critical infrastructure or anything, this is maybe a little bit aside, but also delves into it. So maybe an OT or IoT inquiry, I'd love to sort of have a chat to you about that. But if there's no final questions,
I did see there's a question from Benji.
Benji from Three Lights. Thank you, Benji.
Yeah, I can answer that one as well. The question is, how does Crystal-Eye or your SOC detect AI-driven cyber threats, and how do you also ensure that they are addressed in real time? So the Crystal-Eye platform does actually have machine learning AI built into it as well, which you can also access on the Threat Hunt dashboard. So it does generate automatically a baseline of various different traffic, whether it's HTTP, SMB, Kerberos as well, if you're using on-prem as well. And then those would automatically, of course, generate a baseline. If anything falls out the baseline, hey, is there a bit more Kerberos traffic we're expecting, or this user is accessing quite a few different addresses or IPs that haven't before, that can generate an alert, and they can also be sent to the SOC team as well. And because we do have a 24/7 SOC, doesn't matter whether it's the weekend, public holiday, we do always have a team monitoring and addressing the alarms. So yeah, pretty much the AI alerts come in as a normal alert, and we do address those in real time as well. I see there's a question from Samir as well. What's the biggest misconception organizations have about APTs? I would have to say APTs only target government, really, or big organizations. They're goal driven. If they can get into a big organization by going after a smaller one, they will do that. And as Zayd mentioned earlier, and Scott, we tried to protect the SMBs, the small medium businesses. So just because you're small doesn't mean you're not a target. That just goes for any scenario, not just cybersecurity, but also physical security as well. We've seen it a lot when we do pen tests as well. But we've got nothing to protect, but you always do. And usually small, medium businesses, they can't afford a compromise. They get compromised, get shut down for a week. It's very, very difficult to recover from that. So definitely, just because you're small doesn't mean you're not a target for the APT. There's another question. What does Red Piranha SOC look for when analyzing APT level indicators? Did touch on that a bit earlier as well, but APTs have TTPs, so tactics and techniques they use. They're stuck to not always stuck to a structure, but they practice the structure they do a lot of reconnaissance on organizations, small or big, and then they have the structure, and these develop the techniques and tactics that they use. So this is their techniques for doing C2 communication, for persistence. Do they start cron jobs? Do they edit the registry? Do they have auto startup? What do they use for reconnaissance? Do they scan the web? Do they look at social media? We have a lot of TTPs about various APTs. And so that's where we start to look at, say we see the activity, we use the TTPs to see if we can align them to a known APT. But of course, there are various unknown as well. But the TTPs definitely help us add context to things as well. I don't see any other questions. Is there anything you guys wanted to wrap up with?
Look, for me, I think we've covered it all. If anyone has any follow-up information or questions they'd like to get their hands on, as I was touching on before, those 11th hour questions came in, please reach out to me directly. Like I said, scott.winder@redpiranha.net. And look forward to hopefully seeing you guys at the upcoming partner events. But for me, that was everything. Gentlemen, Zayd, Damien, anything further for you guys?
No, just reach out if you need help. That's pretty much it.
Yep,
Fantastic.
likewise.
Thank you, everyone, so much.
Thanks, everyone.
Have a great week. Thank you, everyone.
Bye.
Thanks, guys.